Star Citizen has hit 4 million user accounts. We've got some new PTU updates as Cloud Imperium tries to get Alpha 3.17.2 ready for prime time. And Cloud Imperium talk about the Snake Pit as well, a racetrack they've made more official for the persistent universe in the latest patch. Star Citizen has hit 4 million user accounts. No doubt a good portion of these are going to be alt accounts of players. So Star Citizen is not going to be 4 million unique players yet, but it's going to probably be close to 3 million unique players have played Star Citizen sort of thing. At least that would be my guesstimate. Star Citizen is making a record-breaking amount of money month on month though, and smashing previous year's highs. From all sources, it's raised well over $500 million, 500 million. It's a lot. It's a lot more than that as well. It will be interesting to see where we are after this year's CitizenCon and Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, typically providing a massive amount of funding as well. We have had a couple of 3.17.2 PTU patches, L and M, that are attempting to fix some of the more major problems with Star Citizen's AI functionality, network jitter versus sort of stability issues, because those are the two choices we have really. We either have a stable, performant game, or something where the AI works and the netcode isn't too bad. But unfortunately, getting those sort of groups of things in together seems to be causing issues in the PTU. So with the 3.17.2 L PTU, we got some updates. Tonkified the Tonk with a great increase in its health. They've temporarily disabled decoupled lighting on lower planetary effect LODs, levels of detail, which should give great client-side performance gains in storms and dust. Bug fix wise, they fixed multiple areas of missing atmosphere in the new Grimhex Hospital. A Viz area issue in the Aegis Hammerhead near the portal leading to the main elevator room has been fixed. There should no longer be a Viz area issue in the Port Tressler Galleria. Purchasing a rental vehicle from a rental kiosk should now properly update displayed money on the kiosk and Mobiglass, and they fixed for that patch 4 client and 2 server crashes. In the 3.17.2 M patch, they greatly increased the fuel reserves with the Car2 Al. They also partially reversed some of the Nova tanks, the Tonks, sort of health update. So they moderately reduced its health because they thought it had far too much. This is based on player feedback. They made those changes. Bug fix wise here, we have issue causing many elevators around the persistent universe to be unresponsive or inaccessible. That's been fixed. That is probably one of the more major issues that I wanted fixed, and that is super important. Crash recovery back into the PTU should now function correctly as well, which is great. Red Wind delivery missions, which are the new sort of illegal delivery missions, should no longer create duplicate mission boxes. They fixed Viz area issues on multiple doors on the upper deck of the 400i. The Tumbrel Nova paint should now correctly be applied to the body, and they also fixed an additional 2 client crashes and a main thread deadlock. There's a lot of back-end stuff that's been going on behind the scenes as well to try and improve the servers and get AI working, but there still is various known issues that Cloud Imperium are really needing to work through for a live build anyway. The main ones being listed are actors are teleporting around after networking updates, ongoing improvements and testing are being made to this, and this is super important to get as in a good state as possible. Some enemy AI will not engage security AI or players. Again, non-functional AI. It's a shame that we have to see that in the game at the moment. It's sort of something that should be core to the game, in my opinion, that should just sort of work. Even if they're on a dumb state, they should be functional and engaging and be able to attack players and react to them properly, but sometimes they are literally brain dead. Several locations at Grimhex do not have atmosphere. All weapons are held like a pistol while moving in EVA. The Destroy the Reclaimer objective results in getting a crime stat 2 for the destruction of a vehicle. Obviously, you shouldn't be getting that for doing that a mission objective. Some enemy AI will not engage security AI or players. Weapon holsters or unholsters happen unintentionally. Components and interior zones remain when ships are destroyed. Obviously not a great look, and probably something that causes server problems. Ships on landing pads end up in an unknown state for location and have to be reclaimed after the ship is stored or streamed out. Medical beacons do not complete the mission and payment when a player is brought back from incapacitation. Players are seeing missing ships on the PTU at the moment. It is a PTU only issue that's being worked on though, so hopefully your ships that you're supposed to have should be in the PTU and once they fix that, I'm hoping that 3.17.2 will go to a wider PTU this weekend, as it's currently still in Wave 1, which is actually quite a small test group currently. But it depends if Cloud Imperium think it's ready or not, and if we get a good enough build to allow for that. And with how unstable it's been for me playing recently, with 30k server crashes and crash to desktop client crashes, well, it does need more time to get into a good place, at least before a live build, before it actually goes properly live. Though Cloud Imperium might already have fixes for everything in the works. It's aggravating that it seems that we have to choose between a super stable verse that has terrible AI and jitter problems, or functional AI and improved netcode, but a mega unstable build. But that's why it's in PTU. It's for testing, and they sort of try and fix these issues out. But I'd love to know what your recent experiences of the 3.17.2 branch are, and have you played in the Siege of Orison, that sort of stuff, and what do you think of that? But there's even more coming to Alpha 3.17.2. This time on Patch Watch, Cloud Imperium talked about a racetrack that's been added to 3.17.2, or really it's been made into a more permanent, built-up point of interest. So let's learn about the Snake Pit. Cloud Imperium said, "This week we want to try something different and talk about how our excitement for your adventures translates into the verse. To give you the full scope, we need to backtrack a bit. Two racers, Osashes and Black Maze, were scouting the Stanton system for natural tracks for their community-driven Extreme G Racing XGR Stanton Cup. Just 8 kilometers away from Rari McGrath Research Outpost on Clio, one of Microtech's moons, they found what they were looking for, a series of canyons from which they designed a thrilling course to challenge any pilot. The Snake Pit was born, with iconic checkpoints like Turn and Burn, Close Contact, Emerald Avenue, The Pinch, and Drifter's Paradise. In a standard patch watch, we would have probably just written, the team added structures around one of the community's improvised racetracks on Clio, located about 8 kilometers from the Rory McGrath Research Outpost. The goal was to help new players get into racing by providing clearer landmarks and some visual aids during turns. Our lighting artists also did a great job, so the track can now be raced on both night and day. However, this wouldn't have done it justice, so we decided to take you behind the scenes and show you how our enthusiasm for your creative ideas and our shared love of this project often lead to new events, missions, and locations. So why don't we let our developer, official Nino, speak for themselves? Let's go. When the Montreal studio opened up, we started watching many videos from content creators like Salty Mike, Citizen Kate and Will, Morphologist, Super Mac Brothers, and many other French and English streamers on Twitch and YouTube. One of them was Black Maze. He started a series of videos highlighting the main differences between Star Citizen and other space games, and these videos were very useful to Star Citizen newcomers. As new employees in the Montreal studio, these videos helped us better understand the game, and we shared them with a few colleagues, so naturally, as the videos started focusing more on racing, we ended up being more exposed to that subject. At some point, I stuck into the XGR Discord and started attending their races just to better understand how difficult the tracks were, how long they were, their locations, how many racers participated on average, and so on. We wanted to understand what a proper racetrack should feel like, and over time, I started talking to a member of the racing community to get those answers. The Snake Pit racetrack is actually the 4th track I built, but so far the only one polished enough to be published to the PTU. Among others, we explored a track around a Javelin crash site, which was my personal favourite, but we never polished it sufficiently enough to let it go live. Just as a side note, I really want to see a Javelin racetrack. That would be cool. Put some cool stuff around the Javelin wreck, or make more wrecks and more racetracks. That sounds awesome. But every once in a while, I get the urge to make a racetrack, and I can't sleep until I get it done. So one evening, right before we branched to the next Star Citizen Alpha build, I started working on the iconic Daymar to look for a new option to add something there. While working on Daymar, Black Maze sent me a new time trial of their Snake Pit track, so I had my editor open already. I just decided to check out the track they had found in the dunes. You should know that my piloting skills are still in training, so XGR's racetrack surpassed my idea in complexity and length. So instead of starting from scratch, I decided to draw on our Racing Pros experience and recreate a tested and proven track. We saw several opportunities to bring it to the next level, to make it more user-friendly, and to add geometry that would help new players get used to the track and hopefully spend less time learning the turns and give them more time for racing. Again, on a little BoredGamer side note, I think this is really interesting. So when a player finds a racetrack and sort of like brings it to the attention of the masses and starts using it as a racetrack, Cloud Imperium almost see it as that player or that the community's racetrack. And when they go in and like build it up, they don't think of it as like, well, actually, it was our procedurally assisted tools that made this in the first place. Because it hadn't been intended to be used as a racetrack, they give the credit to the player. I think that's really awesome and a really nice way that the devs look at this sort of stuff. They go, we want to improve the community's sort of things that they've done or things that they've claimed. Anyway, they go on to say, however, I didn't want to break XGR's iconic track, so I asked Black Maze if it would be okay for me to play around with it to see if we could improve on a few things. So from there, I decided to spend the evening working on that track, and I showed it off the next day to my lead. Needless to say, he was pleased. Since we'd just branched into a new build and were only a few days from the first PT release, it was far from anything we could consider a typical mandate to schedule if we wanted to realise it for Alpha 3.17.2. So my leads approached our art director and head of studio to show off the track. They loved it too. So they decided to pitch the racetrack to the Star Citizen art director and Star Citizen live director. For the next few days, I polished the track in my free time because we still had the derelicts to ship, which were our top priority. Luckily, we had some amazing lighting artists and QA testers that jumped in as soon as the track was ready, and with the help of our leads, QA's excellent feedback, lighting artists, level artists, etc., we were able to push the track to the PTU servers in a matter of days. The support we had from our producer, leads, and heads of studio in Montreal and at Cloud Imperium Games were terrific. The idea of racetracks circulated in the Montreal team since day one. We have members of our tools team that worked on racing games. We race go-karts together at least once a year as a team building exercise. We play Forza regularly together, so racing is part of what we love, but we just never officially had a chance to do it in Star Citizen. Most of us play Star Citizen in our free time, and some of us spectate the races that the community have created. I worked on multiple AAA titles before, but this level of community involvement and how it positively affects the game's development is something that I was not used to. It is something unique about Star Citizen and something that Turbulence and CIG teams love. We will keep supporting this, as developing a game this way is a lot of fun and extremely rewarding. We learned a lot about making this racetrack, and hopefully we can get more people involved and keep improving the quality level in case there is any other track we want to sneak into the game. I'm very excited to see how the reworked snake pick will affect the community and what SCR, Atmo, and all the other racing communities are working on. See you on the racetracks. I really like Cloud Imperium talking like this. I like them talking about things they're working on, things they're doing in their spare time. I like the fact that their devs were passionate enough to do some silly stuff like this, or to improve gameplay areas, get some extra work in, get some extra experience in. I think that's a fantastic thing. Boom, that's it for your Star Citizen updates today. 3.17.2 is making progress, and I am still hoping that we will see a live build maybe at the end of next week. But what do you think? Have you been playing in the 3.17.2 PTU? Are you enjoying it? Is it too prohibitively unstable? Do you think Cloud Imperium can get it in a good state for a live build? Have you been playing in the Siege of Orison? What do you think of things like the snake pitting game? A cool community piece that might see some more gameplay function in the future? Or should Cloud Imperium be focused on other things? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Greetings, citizen. I am NordVPN Man, bringing the justice of cybersecurity to the world. I protect you from ads, trackers, and malware. I punched a guy so hard once with security features that I knocked him back in time. He was able to use the knowledge of the future to become incredibly rich and wealthy. He bought like 10 subscriptions to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer after that. Really smart guy. Another time, I prevented a hacker from snooping at your IP address by taking off his hands. You can't hack with no hands. Probably. Anyway, you should get NordVPN, otherwise the terrorists win.
Every month we have a giveaway. For July 2022, we're giving away a Hull A cargo hauler, as well as a Nomad multi-role freighter. That Nomad also comes with a hovercraft bike, so there's 2 lucky winners this month, and both of those packages contain access to Star Citizen. Comment on any of my videos during this month to be in for a chance of winning that, and check the description down below for more details. Please consider becoming a Patreon or channel member with the join button under my videos. This nets you a variety of exclusive extras, badges, influence on the channel and content and special videos, as well as helping us produce daily content. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.